I killed that lady. This is said by a 12-year-old boy, Tristan Carrillo. Doesn't he look happy and nice? He actually killed a lady, 90 years old. Actually, his grandmother, step-grandmother, no, that worse. But put a cane to her neck, beat her up pretty bad, kind of beat her to death, and then took a knife and continued to stab her until he thought she was dead. He's being tried as an adult. He got tried on October 14, 2014, and he is being held at Wayne County Correctional Facilities in Pennsylvania, according to CNN. So many may say that juveniles are unfit to know their rights or for adult jurisdiction. But is this correct or just another excuse for juveniles not to be tried as adults depending on their crime? So I've done a lot of research on this topic. I think I've become an expert, and also criminal justice is my backup for biology if it doesn't work out. So this is a very interesting topic to research. So the three things I'm going to talk to you guys today about is the maturity level of juveniles. Are they aware of what they're doing when they commit those crimes? Also, the benefits of adult jurisdiction and adult sentencing acting as a deterrent. So let's first talk about the maturity and if they're mature enough to see the outcome of their actions. So in society, when you're a juvenile, it's usually between the ages of 12 to 16, and you have responsibilities. People look at you as, once you hit that 13 age and up, you're looked as an adult, sort of preteen, and you have responsibilities, and you're considered as a mature individual, and you get responsibilities such as driver's license. So if you're entrusted with the driver's license and basically treated like adult, you should be treated like adult if you commit these kind of crimes. Going off responsibility, Gianna Savani, an assistant state attorney from Cooks County, according to PBS, says if they're old enough to pick up a gun and shoot it, they're old enough to take responsibility for their actions, which I totally agree with. Get around the head. When we're little, we're taught the difference between good and bad, and I feel like, every kid's taught the difference between good and bad, and that everyone's action has a consequence. Also, the court system believes that if you're in between the ages of 12 and 16, you are mature, you're considered mature, and if they do not try you as an adult, depending on severity, they're not keeping you accountable for your actions, just like I said earlier. So now that I talked to you guys about the maturity levels, I'm going to talk to you guys about some benefits of adult jurisdiction. So in juvenile court, you go in and you stand kind of like this in a chair or stand, and the judge tells you such and such about what you did. But in an adult system, you go in, you have a full jury on the side, and you have a judge, and you have more revenue, I guess, because in a juvenile court, they kind of just slap you on the head and tell you, hey, don't do that again. We're going to put you in jail for a couple of months, even though you did commit this severe crime. Also, it's protection for society. If you're being put in the adult system, you're, depending on the severity of the crime, you're put in there longer than you would be for a juvenile system, like I stated earlier. And it's also unjust to let them go freely. It's just like, for example, someone kills someone and they go to juvenile court for 2 months and they get let out. They can possibly kill someone as soon as they get out and be right back in the system. So putting them through adult jurisdiction is probably the best idea. So now that I've talked to you guys about the benefits, I'm going to talk to you about the adult sentencing acting as a deterrent. So crime has fallen. According to Frontline, violent crime is at its lowest since 1987 and fell 30% between 1994 and 1998 pertaining to juveniles. Also, Frontline states that the percentage of all juveniles arrests fell to a 11-year low in 1999 to 339 for every 100,000 people ages 12 to 17. Paul Henry Gingerich killed his friend's dad and got 25 years, and he was tried as an adult. Just a little background on his story. His friend and him were going to go to a lake house and have a good time, and just with his parents and ski. They were I think Paul was 12 and his other friend was 15, so he was kind of under the influence. His friend was hey, my dad's not listening to me, so we need to do something about it. So he snuck through his friend's window and shot his friend's dad and ended up being tried as an adult. And his other friend, that was 15, got sent to juvenile court, which I didn't think was fair, but that's how it ended up. Paul said to USA Today before he started his sentence, or a few weeks after he started his sentence, now that I think back on it, I should have just went home and not listened to him. But as soon as I get out, I'll never come back because it's not the place I want to be. So, also, when you are in the system and you have a criminal record, there's certain things you can't do when you get out. If you have a hard time getting a job, you get labeled a lot for just being a bad person. And also, when you're in there, being at that age, you might get abused, sexually abused, or have thoughts of suicide. So I've talked to you guys about the maturity and are juveniles mature enough to see their outcomes, the benefits of adult jurisdiction, and adult sentencing acting as a deterrent. Going back to Tristan, it's kind of crazy how kids can commit these crimes, but I do feel like if they do and it's that severe, they should be tried as an adult and get their just sentence. So thank you very much.
If they're tried as an adult, do they go to prison or do they go to juvenile?
They're held in juvenile until they decide that they're going to try them as adults, and then they get transferred over to.
If they're tried as adults?
Yeah, then they go over to the.
Are you worried about like their safety at all? Because they're like really young and.
I am to an extent,
prison.
but I feel that if they did that to a person, in his case, like beating a woman to death, I feel like and he can fend for himself, I guess, if he can beat someone up to that extent. Yes, sir. Yeah, go ahead. I thought you raised your hand, sorry.
I did, but she did as well. So.
Oh, okay. Whoever wants to go first doesn't matter.
Okay, is there any record that says Tristan might have a mental disability or anything?
They did bring that up, but the judge dismissed it and said that it was premeditated, so.
The question I have is that if we're trying them as adults, and there's a lot of things that will be carrying the death penalty as well,
Right.
are we basically